Regarding the AI agents, my name is Vincenzo Gambino. I'm a Drupal architect and senior React developer. I've been speaking at several Drupal events around Europe and the US. I'm also the co-author of the book Jumpstart Development, where I explain how to build headless application using Sanity and Gatsby. So today we're going to talk about the AI agents, this intelligent system that goes beyond basic interaction, like answering questions or providing information. And we're going to see what makes them different from the chatbot. Then we're going to take a look at their powerful features, what makes them special, and how these features can improve the user interaction, providing a smarter and a more dynamic interaction. Then we're going to see some real-world example in healthcare and in finance, for example. Then we're going to see what happens behind the scenes of an AI agent. And then we're going to check some challenge and ethical considerations. So what is an AI agent? It is a system designed to operate autonomously, which means they can perform tasks without the constant human intervention. They can plan, they can take action, and they can learn. They are goal-oriented, meaning they are programmed to achieve specific outcomes, whether it's booking a meeting, or analyzing data, or providing personalized recommendation. They can interact with tools, they can have memory, and then they can store knowledge. So how they are different from chatbot? Chatbot is a conversational assistant, so they can follow a script, they can answer a specific question, and they can complete simple tasks based on predefined rules. They're great for customer support and FAQ, but they're also limited in scope. An AI agency, on the other hand, it goes much further. They can handle multi-step processes, they can adapt and change in real time, they can even learn from their experience. And to make an example, a chatbot, for example, can just check your bank account balance, while an agent can analyze your bank account and see your spending habits, can suggest a way to save money, or even transfer funds to your saving account based on your goal. So how that works? Agents use a large language model as a base, such as GPT, Gemini, or Llama, and they understand and generate the content. They understand user input, even if it's like casual or ambiguous. So, for example, I can say, set a reminder for my doctor appointments tomorrow at 4 p.m. Or I can even say, remind me about my doctor appointment. And the agents will most likely connect to my calendar, check if I got a doctor appointment in the next couple of weeks, and then set a reminder for that day and time. So how that works, once they understand what the user wants to achieve, the goal, they start planning it and then break it down into smaller tasks, into multi-step tasks. So they don't just perform a single action, they can carry out complex workflow involving multiple steps. For example, for a project manager, for example, they can assist by scheduling meetings, assigning tasks, and even creating reports. All this from a single command from the project manager. They can have real-time data analysis and decision making. So they can process a large amount of data or whatever the user inputs, and then they can carry out complex workflows and multiple steps. And in this case, they can analyze the data and they can take a decision based on this data. In an e-commerce, for example, for real live tracking data, they can track the live inventory. They can, for example, predict the demand trends for the next week because of the Black Friday, for example, and then they can adjust the pricing dynamically based on this knowledge. Then the other feature is that they interact with external system and APIs. That's because the traditional LM, so the base, what is the base are the AI agents, they respond based on knowledge that they are trained off, based on data they've been trained off on a specific date. They don't interact with the world, they don't go beyond their training data. So that means that if I ask the agent to write an email to the Prime Minister and send him the email. If the training data has been, like, I don't know, trained up to June or May of this year, it will send it to the wrong prime minister, for example. So this is when the integration with external system and APIs, that they can access external memory, they can access external knowledge, real-time data. So, for example, they can connect to a news feed website and get the latest prime minister, or they can even connect to other systems like your CRM, or email, or any other device. They can seamlessly coordinate across multiple tools and environment. Then they can learn. They can learn from past interaction. So over time, it creates like a truly intelligent system that feels like more intuitive and more tailored for you. And this comes in this way. So they understand the context. They understand who is talking, who is the user who is using it. They don't just process isolated commands. They analyze your past interaction, your preferences, and even the current environment where you are now. So this enables them to make smarter and more relevant decisions. So, for example, for an AI travel agent for travel planning, for example, if you are going to book a flight with a vacation with them, you can check your past booking. You can check the pattern. So if you prefer the specific time when you want to fly, if you have like a favorite seat on the airplane, for example. And then if you have choose a particular hotel, and then it combines all this data to provide you a more personalized proactive assistance. When proactive is that even if you book the flight, then it can send you reminders on deals, always based on your preference. And then it's continuous learning, and it adapts to the user preference. So every time you talk to the agent, it becomes better understanding you and how it then will provide the answers. Now, let's see some real-world case, for example, in customer service. So they can handle complex query, they can provide personalized response, as we said, and they can even, for example, escalate issues when necessary. For example, an AI agent for a telecom company may troubleshoot some connectivity issue, then they can adjust the billing of your plan, or even offering some deal because of the issue that you had. In healthcare, they can help the doctors by analyzing symptoms and suggest potential diagnosis. They can even assist managing the patient's record by sending medication reminders. They can schedule follow-up and all these kind of things. In finance, for example, they can detect fraud detection. So if there is any suspicious activity, they can notify the user, or they can even freeze the account. And then you can even get personalized financial planning based on your goal. So you can set a plan on how to save money, how much money you can save based on your goal, and so on. In the commerce, I would say they can, for example, analyze your data. You can check, for example, your browsing history, and then come up with the product that you may like the most. And for smart home, as we said, they can manage your devices with natural commands. So, for example, you can, if, for example, you are tonight, you are here in this meeting, in this meetup, you're not coming home by 7 when usually you come home and switch on the heating. Basically, can recognize that you have something in your calendar and switch on the heating, I don't know, 8:30 or 9, just to help you to save money. And how this is achieved, how this works, how the AI works behind the scenes. So let's say we want to book a trip to London from Wednesdays to return on Friday. So first of all, we add the input. The AI is gonna understand the request, so it knows what you want and what you want to achieve. Then it's gonna gather all the data, so it's gonna connect to various APIs. For example, it's gonna go to eDreams and get all the flights, then to Booking.com and get all the hotels, and then even check the transportation plan in London. Then it's going to combine them with your personalized data. So we said if you have a preferred seat, preferred airlines, and so on. After that, it combines all the data, and it starts the decision making, where it starts thinking what is the best solution for you. Then it can provide proactive assistance, for example. So let's say you want to go in London from Wednesday to Friday, and then it can, for example, check if there is any strike or if there's going to be any snow, because I can check the weather forecast, and then say, look, it's going to snow, so please, like, you can travel next week. Or, for example, you can check your calendar, say you have like a doctor appointment, or you can connect to the CRM of your company and say you don't have any holiday left, so you cannot take days off. And after that, he can execute all the steps that he came out with. So he can, in this case, or go ahead and book the flight, book the hotel directly, or, for example, he can show it to you, and then again you can confirm it, and then go ahead and provide the tickets. All this comes, of course, with challenges and ethical consideration. So first of all is data privacy and security. So the AI agents relies on a vast amount of personal data. So they know lots about you. They need to connect most likely to your bank account, to your calendar, and email, and many other things. So the question is where these data are going, when they're going to be processed by the LLM. And so we need like some kind of encryption or some kind of security. So we need to make sure that all these are met. Then we got the biases in AI, of course, because the AI has been trained on data from the internet, so it can have cultural or like demographic or social biases. So, for example, if you are say a recruitment agency, and then you are giving the LLM, the agent, the ownership of the hiring, then he may hire, if he lacks of diversity data, he may not hire in the right way. Then we have the transparency in decision making. Because when we use the agent, we put the LLM in charge of all the steps, of all the decision. So you say, for example, book me a flight to London from Friday to Wednesday, and it's going to book the flight, and you don't have control really on this unless you want to specify something. But this is the thing. So the way the AI came out with the solution is still a black box. So they still even don't know how it's going to come out with the solution based on all the data that we have. So there's going to be maybe some human check on this. So in conclusion, so we saw what are the AI agents and the difference with the chatbot. So I'm going to make another example. For example, a chatbot for a sales for smartphone may ask you, okay, you want to buy a smartphone, give me the brand, give me the model and the memory capacity. While an agent may start saying, okay, oh, you want to buy a smartphone. That's fine. Can you give me the brand? Can you give me the model? And then it's going to ask you maybe what use you're going to do, or you may get it from your data somewhere. And then it finds out that you like to post lots of pictures on Instagram. So it's going to suggest you some smartphone that has a better camera. Then at some point it can even check in the internet and say, okay, look, you can buy this smartphone, but in 2 weeks the new one is coming out. So you may want to pre-order it. So it's going to be more proactive. Then we saw all the features. We saw that they can think, they are in charge of all the decisions, so they plan it, they execute, and they can learn. And then we saw the ethical consideration and the challenges we have, and that's it. So it's hopefully I explain the agent in the right way, and now you have better understanding.
So you got time for questions?
Yeah. Yes.
So does it run in the process? So if it doesn't behave as a chat, does it run on its own process? So you can always make decisions even without you interacting with it?
Yes. So I want to show something actually.
How does it get triggered? I don't understand.
So let me check one thing now.
And if it does run in the process, does it get...
Yeah, I want to get an example here.
With the information it consumes?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is okay. Questions.
Yeah, so I can connect to the internet. So basically so imagine the agent, imagine like ChatGPT, right? You ask the question on doing a task, and then how can you do it? And it's coming up with a plan, right? So you see the text of all these tasks. So instead, the agent, instead of giving you the task, what you need to do, is going to do it for you. if you give it the right tools. So whatever you're connecting with, so you're connecting to the, I don't know, to your Gmail account or Microsoft account or all your tools that you use, it can then perform all the action for you. Of course, there are agents that can ask for confirmation, and then you can review it and then confirm it, or you can just do it autonomously without your intervention.
Right. Does it remember your previous choices?
Yes.
Your
Yes.
So it accumulates the.
Yeah. Within the same agent, yes. So because there are going to be lots of agents around. So one maybe for Ryanair, one from eDreams, for example. So the eDreams will remember your data. It may even check your cookies from the browser and see. And gathering data from some other sources. And if you connect other systems, like your calendar, then it will know more about you.
It may be triggered by a bank transaction or something. So
Yep.
not necessarily triggered by a chat interaction, right?
You just put the command. It can be even a command or just a form where you put like, I don't know, leaving date, return date, press go ahead, and then it will do everything.
But it runs like you wake it every 5 seconds to check and see, oh, do I have a new transaction? You know, how, it's like the question is like, is it permanently running, watching for data, or you like just wake it once a minute to say, okay, check for new data? You know, what is it just a permanent running process that's listening?
Whenever you start the actions, or if the agency is programmed to send, for example, marketing emails, then there is a cron job, of course, that is going to run this process. Basically. Yeah, it's a set of multi-step that is going to do. Basically, there are like lots of steps that you're doing. So
nice. It's cool. If it gets too much information, does it blow up?
We need to test that.
Does it have like a limited context, I imagine? So you cannot just.
It depends how it's being programmed and what it has to check, of course.
Right.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I mean,
Just how do you, like in your experience, cope with recovery when one of the agents makes a mistake? You know, so like if the agent that's looking at the flights picks the wrong dates, it's going to cascade into other things. So like obviously that's just a proper challenge with any LLM thing. But like, how do you handle it when you've got a series of them, and if it goes wrong in one place, you're going into the bad place?
So we used it once for checking content that they were like comparing the policy, and it was choosing what was the best category and everything. And then there was also human interaction after that. It was fully in charge. It was fully in charge of the first part. Then when it was going to the review, there was another human because it was basic training. This was a training part for the LLM. So depending what you're using, you may want to do 2 steps. So the first is LLM does it, human checks, and then goes get the feedback, and then it will improve and learn over time.
Bring human in the loop at the right
Yes,
time.
yes. Yep.
I was just wondering what the most common points of failure are for agents.
What the?
Or in a agentic system where they tend to fail, any common areas where they fail.
No, sorry, didn't hear you.
What the most common failure points are in an agent system.
I haven't got any failure yet, likely. So I don't know. As I said, handling complex data usually works, but of course it can. It's always the LLM in charge, so it can have like a different outcome for the time because maybe you understand something in another way, or you're using different LLMs to process different things like images and text. So that could be some conflict.
So when you're building these tools, do you tend to use like frameworks or tools you kind of configure them?
I use the OpenAI assistant.
Okay.
Yeah, just that one for the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
The Swarm thing, the OpenAI Swarm.
Yeah, there are like other lots of frameworks, but they are all new. So I always rely on OpenAI or Llama or Gemini. Gemini I haven't used. I use Llama and OpenAI. So something that is proprietary then. So something on top. Yeah.
Presumably these are sort of like base large language models, aren't they? Which you then you can take those and carry on training them yourself into a particular area. Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah. And How big a machine do you need to? You can run one of these yourself, yeah, on a server. You don't have to use something.
I use OpenAI, so it's just connecting through the API to them.
Okay,
so I use the LLM.
You don't actually ever run one yourself then? You always connect to OpenAI?
Yes. Sometimes I use Llama, but in my local, for local testing.
You can run that on your local machine?
Yes. Got Llama down here. Oh, you don't see it there.
But OpenAI you wouldn't because it needs too big a server, presumably, or you're not allowed to?
To what? So.
Are you allowed to run OpenAI on your own machine? Would it be possible?
No. Just connect with the API.
So you have to connect to a server?
Yes. Yeah.
But Llama you can?
Yeah, Llama, yes, it's here in my log.
So you have like these 6 use cases there, like there was healthcare, booking, different tickets, so all like really sort of like separate use cases. And I understand that if you build an agent, it would be really specialized in that one specific area, right?
No, not specifically.
Yeah, so the question is, is it possible to build an agent that will look after all these different areas simultaneously?
Yes, so
you have to build like different agent each time for each different task.
That's depend on the project, but the difference with the chatbot is the chatbots are more like scoped for one thing usually, while agent can have like many pieces together, and then depending on the outcome, we will get all these parts because it's a system. So you can have this agent with all these other things connected to. So depending what you're asking, is going to pick up the right tool to solve the problem.
Does it have like one unified database where it stores all the data, all the commands? Can we use no code to build that sort of tool?
There is some marketplace in OpenAI where you can get agents. But you can build your own, for example, and provide also your own data. For example, you can upload the CSV with lots of data from the company, from your company, or from you, and then you can train the agent based on those data. So it will use it as an external memory because the agent can connect to different databases, different APIs, to even vector database to better understand and learn from the past experience.
Yeah, we have time for one last question.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.